So let me tell you a story. It's about a hero, his masterpiece, and a devastating secret hiding in the ground that brought it all crashing down. It's about a single fatal mistake that would change the world of engineering forever.
12 billion gallons of water. That is a staggering amount. Just try to picture it, an entire lake of raw, immense power, held back by just a single wall of concrete. A wall that was, well, about to fail spectacularly.
And it did. Right around midnight on March 12, 1928, that wall gave way. What came next was a 12-story-high wall of water that just obliterated everything in its path, scouring the landscape clean, right down to the bedrock for miles.
Now this wasn't a hurricane or some random tsunami. Nope, this was the catastrophic failure of what was supposed to be a modern engineering marvel. And to really get how this happened, you have to understand the man who built it. The man behind the dam was named William Mulholland, and in Los Angeles at the time, he wasn't just some engineer. Oh no, he was a celebrated hero, seen as an absolute genius.
You see, William Mulholland was this incredible self-taught engineer who pretty much single-handedly solved LA's massive water problem. He built the Los Angeles Aqueduct, an unbelievable accomplishment that turned a patch of desert into the booming city we know today. To the people of LA, this guy was a legend.
And the St. Francis Dam? Well, that was meant to be his masterpiece, his crowning achievement, a 200-foot-high concrete monument to his vision. In fact, he was so confident in it, he famously said he would bet his own life on its safety.
But here's the thing. For all of his genius in moving water, Mulholland made one critical, fatal mistake. He built this masterpiece of concrete, but he completely ignored the ground it was built on. And that ground? It was hiding a terrible secret.
And this right here illustrates the whole problem perfectly. The dam was literally built on two totally different foundations. One side, the eastern side, was solid granite. Perfect. The other side, well, it was a geological nightmare just waiting to happen.
So that weak western wall was made of something called schist, and the best way to think about it is like a stack of damp crackers or wet pastries. It just couldn't handle the incredible weight of the dam and the constant crushing pressure of those 12 billion gallons of water.
And if that wasn't bad enough, part of the foundation also sat on this stuff called conglomerate, which is basically nature's version of really cheap, poorly made concrete. It acted like a giant sponge, soaking up water and making the very ground beneath the dam weaker and weaker.
And as if all of that wasn't enough, there was an ancient fault line, a huge crack in the earth that Mulholland never even knew existed, running right underneath his masterpiece. So the foundation wasn't just weak, it was a geological trap.
Okay, so let's jump to the final hours and see how this geological betrayal turned into an unimaginable human tragedy, all because of one man's overconfidence.
Get this. On the very day of the disaster, there were glaring warning signs. New leaks were showing up and muddy water was seeping out from the base. That's a classic, textbook sign that the foundation is eroding. Mulholland came out, inspected it himself, and just dismissed the danger. He trusted his gut over the evidence right in front of him.
And just hours later, at 3 minutes to midnight, that weak western ground finally gave way. The collapse unleashed the full, terrifying force of the reservoir in a single instant, a destructive wave that swept away homes, farms, and people, all while they slept.
When the sun finally rose, the true scale of the tragedy was horribly clear. More than 400 people were gone. To this day, it remains one of the worst civil engineering disasters in American history. In terms of lives lost, it's second only to the Galveston hurricane of 1900.
At the official inquiry, the once heroic engineer was just a broken man. He didn't make excuses, he took full responsibility for the tragedy, saying these haunting words that really capture the immense weight of his guilt. His career and his spirit were absolutely shattered.
But here's the incredible part of the story. This terrible event, born from such a colossal failure, would go on to completely reshape the entire world of engineering. Out of all that tragedy came a legacy of safety that, still protects all of us today.
This failure was a brutal, brutal lesson. One person's genius, no matter how great, just wasn't enough. In the aftermath, things changed, and they changed fast. For the first time, mandatory geological surveys became law. Independent review boards were created so that no single person ever held all the power again. And the state started licensing civil engineers, holding them to a real professional standard.
So this one disaster taught a vital lesson that is now baked into every single major construction project. You have to respect the ground beneath your feet, and you can never, ever let ego override the evidence.
From this disaster, a new, much safer science of engineering was born. It was built not on the genius of one person, but on the humility and rigorous checks and balances of many. It helps ensure the ghosts of St. Francis never rise again. But it does leave us with a pretty powerful question for our own time.